Welcome back, everybody. We had promised you that we would be back after a couple of hours, and we are now at our last update for the day from the City Hall. And I've got with me John Steenhuisen, and the DA leader, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what has been happening here this afternoon and how the debate has been going.
Well, I think it's been great. The DA speakers today have been absolutely on fire, hitting the issues, talking about the things that matter. They read the assignment. They got it mastered today. And usually the second day is always a tough day. But I think once again the DA's prevailed in the face of an ANC that is clearly withering under the scrutiny of the public, who are starting to see them for who they are. And a very dispirited bunch the ANC are today. And it was very nice to see the opposition on the front foot. And I think we're going to walk away, with an opposition victory in this year's SONA speeches, which I think is a great place you want to be.
Gwede Mantashe talks about how the DA wants to divide and conquer the ANC based on the motion that was submitted yesterday. You announced, for the benefit of our viewers, you announced yesterday that we will be submitting a motion of no confidence in the cabinet. He's very stressed about that, says that you're trying to divide and conquer the ANC. What would you say to that, and how would you explain the value of this to the viewers at home?
Well, I was worried. The dinosaur was having chest pains over the fact that the DA has tabled a motion. But here it is. This is a constitutional motion. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa provides for a situation where Parliament doesn't feel that the ministers are doing their job, to have a motion of no confidence in the ministers. And he's included amongst them. This is somebody who's clinging desperately to coal. This is somebody who's held up the independent power producer space for the last few years. This is somebody who's really quite content to see us
We apologize for that break in transmission, but we are going to continue with our conversation about the significance of this motion of no confidence in the cabinet, John.
You're very significant because this is a motion that's there to hold the ministers accountable. They should be accountable to the people of South Africa through their MPs. So I don't really, give a continental about whether the ANC feels that we're dividing and ruling. This is a motion that's been put for the people of South Africa, for us to be able to have a conversation about how we get rid of ministers who don't perform. And as I was saying, if anything for today underscored why this motion is so important, it's the absolute brazenness of the ANC to field in the debate a Minister of Communications who's implicated in the Zondo Commission report. How do you then have a president who stands up last Thursday and says, I'm cleaning up and cleaning out against corruption, I'm getting rid of the corrupt, and then the ANC in the debate fields somebody implicated in Zondo? It is astounding, and it just shows you the arrogance that's set in, and I hope this motion is going to humble those ministers who think and have frankly got away far too long without any accountability. It is a constitutional motion. The constitutional framers created this mechanism for members of parliament, if they lost confidence in the cabinet, to table it. We've done that, and we're going to make sure that the president and the ANC aren't prepared to hold those errant, lazy, do-nothing ministers accountable, that we must do it on behalf of the people of South Africa.
Absolutely. So now the motion has gone into the Speaker for the benefit of the people at home. What then now? How does it then work?
So because it is a constitutional motion, it is supposed to be given preference over any other business of the House. It's a motion in terms of Section 102. The Speaker must now, with the Programming Committee, determine a date for it to be debated. But in the meantime, here's something where the people at home can help us. Because we're doing this motion on behalf of the people of South Africa, write to the President, write to your ministers, write to your councillors. If you're a civil society body, get behind this initiative. We have to save South Africa, and we're not going to do it with that bunch of useless ministers sitting around the cabinet table. It's time to clean up and clean out. Get involved and help us. This is not a time for South Africans to be agnostic about what's happening. They've got to assist us, put the pressure on the President to get rid of those barnacles out of his cabinet and actually get people in there who are going to do some good for the people.
And for people who are saying this is grandstanding, you don't have the numbers, why do you even bother in any case? What would you say?
Well, I'd say wait and see. I think it's very premature to say we don't have the numbers. We all now divided the ANC. You've seen it over the speeches the last 2 days. The left hand of the ANC doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Mr. Ramaphosa has now got even more knives in his back over the last 2 days as people have tried to walk away from his sona. So I don't take anything for granted anymore with the fluidity of South African politics. But here's the thing. Even if the motion doesn't succeed, this conversation and this debate around ministerial incompetence is an important one, because nothing that the President ever announces or ever says is going to happen is possible with that useless moribund bunch sitting around the cabinet table. So let's have that debate and discussion, and let the ANC and the President justify why he keeps Angie Motshekga in place after 13 years of failure, why he keeps a communications minister implicated in corruption in his cabinet, why he keeps somebody who's holding back the energy transition in his cabinet. He must then stand there and say, I have full confidence in these people. I think he's already shown he's got no confidence in them by bringing in the private sector to do the work that his ministers should be doing, because not even the President trusts his cabinet in the dark.
Absolutely. Now, Isaac, the star of the show for day 2, if this was a test match, we would be saying that you're the star, you're the main, you are the player of the match. Tell us a little bit more about the speech this afternoon, why it was important, and the importance of local government.
Steve, firstly, thank you very much for those encouraging words and nice words. I did actually enjoy myself today. And the debate today was basically very much important because I come from local government and I've served in Theewaterskloof municipality as a deputy mayor. And what is currently happening in Theewaterskloof, week in and week out, there's pipes bursting, and they have to fix it. There's never been maintenance in terms of our infrastructure. As much as the President says we need to make sure that the infrastructure is conducive for us to create businesses, if municipalities are currently failing in maintaining their infrastructure, then that plan is not going to take place. There are unfortunately municipalities under the leadership of the DA, like Mossel Bay, that have made plans for maintenance in terms of their infrastructure. Hence, you find that they're actually doing well, and there's a lot of investment in those municipalities. And the other thing as well that we've been asking for as the Western Cape province is the devolution of SAPS, South African Police Service powers. Because if our environment, there is a lot of people dying and killing and understaffed in terms of SAPS, we are not going to achieve anything. And I made reference to what is happening in Theewaterskloof. A 3-year-old was shot with his father, 10 to 10. Out of nowhere, and no one is doing anything about that. And for a poor municipality like Theewaterskloof, if such things happen, how are we going to make sure that we move away from our indigent percentage, of which is currently 54%, and make sure that there is investment in that municipality, and people can actually get jobs so that they can put something on the table.
And it just shows you, that one of the key things is that local government is closest to the people. The work that local government does is what exactly the people experience in their everyday lives.
Yeah, that's why it's so much important for the NSOP to fulfill its responsibility in terms of the constitution. Because if municipalities are doing bad and the minister will take a decision that they will want to put them under administration, it will come to the NCOP to consider it. And then we've been fighting, because we don't have the numbers, we don't always win. But some of these things, they are not there to assist municipalities, are actually are being used to fight political battles and factions. And it's very important that the NCP plays its role in making sure that they support municipalities municipalities, and instead of putting them under administration, and then when we are no longer able to support them, then we can go, it must be the last extreme, in terms of the constitution, to put them under administration, because it does not assist anyone and no one.
One last question. A lot of people don't always know what the difference between is with the National Assembly and the NCOP. You've mentioned that you're a DA member from the NCOP. Yeah. What is that house, and why is it important to the people at home?
I think by the name, National Council of Provinces, it tells you that they are most important. One of their most important things or objectives is to make sure that whatever provincial issues that we are experiencing in our provinces, we make sure that it takes center stage on the national agenda. And especially when it comes to Section 76 bills, which affects provinces. It's our prerogative as the members, as permanent delegates of provinces, not to play politics and consult and get our voting mandates, our mandates and our negotiating mandates, and make sure that whatever the provinces want, to make it more easier for them to render services, that we make sure we change those bills. And when it goes to the NA, we have played our role. We made sure that there is public participation and the interest of provinces is taking center stage. That's the role of the NCOP. Thank you very much.
I think it's just an important point to make, and the NCOP is becoming even more important and relevant now. And Isaac, I'm sure, will tell you about how they defeated the gambling bill in there. So there's a piece of national legislation that we opposed in the NA. It went to the NCOP, and the NCOP as provinces stood together and sent the bill back to the NA. So it just shows you the importance that they actually play.
Absolutely, and Parliament is actually comprised of both houses, the National Assembly and the NCOP, for that very reason. I do want to thank you for joining us today. We are wrapping up for the day, and we will be back, though, tomorrow, as the President will respond to the debate that has been going on here for the past 2 days. Do keep your eyes peeled. The lineup of the DA in the past 2 days has been exceptional. MPs coming with solutions, like I said earlier, and so keep on looking at our social media platforms so that we can keep communicating with you directly. Remember, we made a commitment that we're going to continue giving you breaking information, relevant information, so that you can keep abreast with everything that's going on directly to you. Thank you very much. See you soon.